Okay, I'm just going to be running through right now the beginning of your typography self-portrait. So at the moment I have opened up Inkscape on my computer and it's ready to go. And what I need to do is import a picture, and this will be of yourself. I'm just going to import a picture of, I've got a picture of my daughter, I think, on my computer screen. So I'm going to find that. And we're going to open that and we want to embed it in there. And so the picture is in there. Remember, when you open Inkscape, it's going to give you this this outline of a page, and that's just giving you the basic idea of how to of what size it is that you're working with here. Okay, so here's the picture. I wouldn't mind having the picture a bit bigger than this, because then when I print it, it'll be bigger on the page. So I just want to lock in the aspect ratio, which is right up here. So I'm just going to click lock, and that way when I stretch this picture out, it'll keep the dimensions the same. It won't make it wonky by making it a little bit longer or a little bit wider. Okay, so I've done that with the picture, so that's good. And I just want to make this bigger on my screen, so I'm just going to press, um, pardon me, I'm just going to press Control, and then I'm going to use my wheel on my mouse to make this bigger, just so that I've got bigger on my screen. And the next thing we're going to do is you want to have a layer over top of this. So this is your underneath layer so that you can trace things over top of it. But really your typography assignment, the finished product will be the layers that are above this. So I'm just going to go here and press layer. And I clicked the layers down on the bottom so that I can see my layers over on this side, over on the right hand side of my screen. And I'm just going to add a layer. You can either do that by clicking layer, add a layer, or when you see this screen over on the side, you can press the add button over there. Okay, so we're going to say add a layer, and I'm going to name this, you can name the layer whatever you want, say typography. You can do, or typography 1 in case I do more layers. If you wanted to do each layer for separate things, so one layer for lips, one layer for the eyes, one layer for the nose, one layer for the hair, that would be absolutely fine. So maybe I'll label this one eyes. You can do them all on the same layer if you want, but if you want to do them separately, that's fine too. So we'll add the layer eyes above the current selection, and we'll say add. Now you'll notice over here with your two layers, this eye means you're seeing both these layers. You're seeing the layer underneath and the layer on top. If I hide layer 1, which actually I'll rename this as the portrait, just so I remember. Oh, didn't save it. Okay. If you want, you can hide this layer, and then you can't see it, and you can open it and see it. Because we don't have anything on the top layer eyes yet, hiding it or not hiding it isn't going to make a difference. The thing you're going to want to remember is to make sure that you're clicked, that the layer you're working on is highlighted in blue here. So I've got eyes highlighted. So whatever I do now to this screen, if I draw something on it like that, it's occurring on that layer. So if I hide the eyes layer, then I'm just seeing this one in here, okay? And I can see it again. I don't want that on there, but I just thought I would show you here. So in order to click on it, click your selection tool, and I want to select that circle, and I'll just delete it, okay? So what you're going to be doing is finding your different letters and font type to be making the different to be making your typography self-portrait. So if you want to be typing in text, you have to click on this A button here for create and edit text in there, and then you're going to be able to type whatever you want. So I'm going to start on the eyes, and maybe I want a V. Okay, that's pretty small. I'm just going to click my selection tool, and then I'll be able to make this V bigger. Okay, I don't actually like that V font for what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do the corners of the eyes. So I'm going to go in here and highlight the V, and I'm going to change that font. Right now it's in Old English text, and I don't want it in Old English text. I'm going to see, I just want a basic V, so maybe I'll try this Perpetua one here. Oh, that one looks nice. It's going to be way too big for what I want. I'm just trying to do V's just in each of the corners, but you'll see what happens here. So now go back to your selection tool so that your V is highlighted and you can move it wherever you want. Remember, you know how to change the size of this. The size of it can be changed just by pulling in or making these corners bigger or smaller, right? And you can rotate it. If you click one more time inside this box, it'll give you these curved arrows, and those will allow you to rotate the letter however you want. Okay, so keep those are some key things in mind. I'm doing this V because I want this to be the corner of her eye. So it's way too big. I need to make this quite a bit smaller. And as a matter of fact, I probably want to make my picture a little bit bigger so that I can, there, and I just used my wheel on my mouse, control and the wheel on my mouse to make her eyes quite a bit bigger in here. Oops, went too far past it. And so I'm just trying to do this V. I want it just rotated a little bit there and probably a little bit smaller. So this is all just the little fussy detail that you're going to be doing in here to make the eyes, right? You're going to take all the letters, the different types of letters that you can, or just the different symbols on the symbol, any symbol you can get from the keyboard you can use for this typography assignment. So there's my V for the inside corner of her eye, and then I probably want a V for the outside of the eye, and so I'm going to do Control C to copy it and Control V to paste it, and then I'm going to move it and rotate it over on this side for the inner corner of her eye over here, and then I want to be able to join this eye right up on top. My favorite thing that I like doing there, and I use this a lot in typography, is my brackets. So there's my open bracket there. I'm going to use my selection tool, move that over, rotate it how I want, and make it bigger. Rotate it again a little. So you can see there's nothing difficult about this, but it is fussy work that you're going to be doing continually in here. So that's the top of the eye, and then I can copy and paste that, and then I can have it for the bottom, but I'll have to rotate it for the bottom of the eye. Okay. Now I don't have any pupil or anything like that in for her eye, so I should add something in there. And for that, I'm going to use maybe a fancy E. So I'm going to, oh yeah, that's actually not a bad E. That's the Old English text of an E there. So I make sure I use my selection tool, and I'm going to move that over. It's probably a little bit small for what I want, and I want to rotate it. I actually like it a little bit better rotated. And I'll make it just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger, and that's the start of the eye, right? So that's where you're going with this. That's what you're trying to do with all of this, with your typography assignment. Then you can go in and do the eyebrow. Sometimes a J on the eyebrow is nice. Certainly not that Old English eyebrow. I don't like that. So let's change the lettering on that. Let's see if there's something else that'll be a nice J. Oh, that might be a little bit curved for an eyebrow. That's maybe not a bad J for an eyebrow. And so then I'll move that J over, rotate it. Oh, it might be a little bit curved for, anyway, you'll fiddle with which ones you have. Of course, it's going to need to be a little bit bigger. And then it'll rotate that. This might not be the best J for an eyebrow. But you can fiddle around with these and do different kinds of fonts for whatever you want. You'll get the idea as you keep going. You'll just play with this as you go. If you're happy with, for example, the eye here that you have, and you don't want these pieces to move independently, you want this whole eye piece to move as one. Now you want this eye to move together as one eye altogether. Then you can click, if you just click your selection tool. Actually, I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller for one moment to see what I have selected. I can't fully see what I have selected here. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. I'll click on this zoom down in the bottom tool. Okay, I actually have the outside of this selected. I don't want that selected. And I'm going to click, I'm going to take my Shift key and click on everything that I want selected. So I want the I, that bottom one, that top one. Oh, I don't actually want the J. And I might have to go bigger to make sure I've selected all of these. I don't want that J selected. I don't want this selected. I only want my pieces of I selected. There we go. There, now I've got all just the pieces of the I. I don't have the background selected, nor do I have the J selected. And then I'm going to go right up here to this Group Selected Objects button. And now this I is one solid I, and then everything will move together, and I won't have to worry about that. So that's actually quite nice to be able to do that. If you wanted this eye and this eyebrow to move all together and not be separate, you can click the grouping, and now the eye and the eyebrow will move together. Okay, so that's how you can group them. If you've decided you don't want to do that, you can always ungroup them and press the button beside it for ungroup, and then they'll go back to their individual objects. Okay, so that can be quite handy when you're working with this as well. So that's the start. I'm going to walk you through a few of I'm going to walk you through how doing the lips separately, doing the jaw separately, the nose separately, just showing you what I've used for them. But it'll be a lot of fiddling work for you and trying to find what works best for you. When I go down here, I guess what I haven't shown you here is when you're down and you have this I and the J, if you want to see if it looks good, hide the portrait underneath. Is that okay for your eye and your eyebrow? For now, it probably is. If you think maybe your eyebrow should have been a little bit longer, maybe you needed it rotated a little bit more, go in there and you can fiddle with all those kinds of things. Hide your portrait to see how this typography is coming along. Okay, so now I'm going to walk you through and I'm going to show you the different areas, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the hair, how you can do each one separately. Okay,